man literally sat here and referenced a psychologist that didn't believe in what he just said he believed. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a great day so far. So today I am back with another part 2. I read the Rewired Souls blog so you don't have to. That's right, I'm back. I missed a lot. And I read a lot of blogs for this video, and I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But if you are new here, welcome. This is Journey to Find Kay, and I'm Kay. I like to talk about mental health. I react to the Rewired Soul, but I also react to other topics on YouTube as they pertain to mental health and or substance abuse, because I'm a mental health patient, worker, and advocate, and I want to use my voice, my experience, my opinion to negate some of the negative things here on this platform. So if you enjoy my content, you enjoy watching me, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the bell so that way you're also notified every time I post a video. So you guys already know it's the first official upload of this week. I don't care. I'm not counting Monday's upload because that was for Sunday. I had it planned to be uploaded on Sunday. It didn't work out. I had to push it to Monday. I'm not doing it. This is the first upload of the week, and you know what that means. It's our mental health check-in. I want to hear from you guys down below. Let me know, how are you feeling? Share what you're comfortable with sharing. But don't be afraid to let me know down below in the comments how you're doing. I want to hear from you guys. For me personally, my birthday's Friday, okay? I am also very grateful to the fact that I am able to see another year. I will be 33 this year. I am now able to say that it took a little bit of time without, wanting to burst into tears. But I don't do that because I'm also understandably grateful for the opportunity to continue to see another day here on this planet. So I'm personally doing very well. I feel very great. I'm also in a very good headspace because you guys, I hit 300 subscribers. Like, I cannot feel bad. I do not feel any type of negativity at all right now because honestly, I never thought that would even be possible. I
know, that it's possible to grow here on YouTube, but I didn't think I had anybody who would want to listen to me.
I appreciate you guys so much. Everyone who watches, who likes, subscribes, comments, leaves a thumbs down. It's okay. I appreciate it because that means people are watching. They are at least listening to what I have to say, and that feels good. So I'm great. That's my mental health check-in. Don't be afraid to let me know down below how you're feeling. Oh, so yeah, you guys, yes, I decided, let me get this blog video out. Let me quit playing because I know he's going to upload a video. I know it's coming. He's slowly getting, I guess, back into the groove of things, and I've missed these blogs. I have not read them. I was paying attention to them, but then, and the videos came out, and I reacted to the videos too. So, and I had a good backlog of blogs to react to, and let's just say I read 10. I stopped at 10. I still had a few to go, and I was just like, no.
Because my head hurt.
My head hurt, okay? I was upset. I had the range of emotions reading these blogs, so I'm not going to babble on too much. I am going to try to start from the oldest to the most recent blog, and the last one, I don't think it's the most recent, but it is the one that kind of made me the most upset. So that will be my last blog that I react to because it was a mess. You guys already know I have my little handy dandy little notebook here because I took notes. I had to take notes reading 10 blogs. Honestly, you guys, I have no issue taking one for the team. So I'm not going to ramble. Let's just get into these blogs. The first one I'm going to react to, which was also the last one that I read, is from January 5th, and it was called 5 Things Depressed People do Not Want to Hear That Actually Work. With this blog, what I took away from it was all the things that he always pushed when he's talking about we don't need antidepressants.
Yes, we're still on that theme.
The things that he stated for people to do who are depressed because they don't need antidepressants. The antidepressants aren't the magic pill. He was basically reiterating in this blog. He basically said, go outside. You already know the rebuttal to that. It's all in your head. He gave a very juvenile response to that, which I'm going to throw up here for you guys to see. He was trying to state,
oh yes, it's, mental health, that's in your head. You wouldn't treat your arm for mental health, you're treating your head. So when someone says it's all in your head, it's not something to be offended by.
no, it is something to be offended by, because we all understand why people say that. The connotation behind that statement, which is change your thinking, it's the way you perceive things, it's somehow always just your fault. But of course, he sat here and chose to focus on a juvenile response to that and say, yeah, it's in your head, because that's where, that's mental health. In your head, you wouldn't treat your arm. Come on now. And the other tips were yoga, meditation, things we understand don't always work for everybody. But that was just the main takeaway from this blog, was that he tried to have just like a juvenile reaction. Since it's in your head, that's where we treat it. Mental health is your head. Don't be so upset. It's okay. Like, you know what people mean when they say that. And the next blog that he posted on January 6th was titled, Seth Rogen's Weed Decriminalization Views Are Extremely Nearsighted. I agree with this blog. I'm not gonna front with you guys. I really didn't have anything negative to say about it, because it is something that I do believe in as well. What he essentially was saying, that he didn't see anything wrong with Seth Rogen wanting to legalize marijuana and decriminalize it, so that way people aren't going to jail for using marijuana. He also stated that that should be across the board, because a lot of times people who are using substances can also be dealing with mental health concerns, that it needed to also be a broader approach to other substances as well. I agree with that. I think that we should decriminalize all illegal substances, and instead of focusing on imprisonment, we need to focus on rehabilitation. I believe we need to stop throwing away people who are addicts or people who might have gotten in trouble because of their addiction, because at that time in their life they were living in their addiction, and that's something that follows people for the rest of their lives. Instead of criminalizing, I think that we should turn our focus into rehabilitation, opening more rehabs, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I had no issue with this blog. So then he posted another blog on January 7th titled The Wisdom of Drug Addicts, and this was another blog I did not really have an issue with. He basically stated in this blog that drug addicts are great examples of people that are able to overcome obstacles, that a lot of times people can get discouraged, feel like things are too hard, that they might not ever be successful or happy or whatever the case is. And he states that if you ever just need motivation or anything to kind of just help you realize that you can overcome anything, he said, look at anyone who's in recovery. He states that anyone who's in recovery can definitely attest to being down and having obstacles in their way and feeling like things won't ever get better, and now you go and talk to them and they have this new light, they have this energy about them because they understand how great life is. They've been to the bad place, they're now in a better place, and they exude that energy, and everyone can benefit from seeing that if someone can go against the odds of addiction and get healthy and be in recovery, that anyone can overcome anything. I personally didn't have an issue with that blog at all. So change of plans. I'm gonna hit the ones that don't really have anything for me to say, and then I'm going to hit the ones where I have a little bit more to say, because I don't want to be too long of a video, because again, it was 10 blogs. I'm sorry, guys. So the next blog I didn't have anything negative to say was posted on January 14th, and it was titled, Why I Have My Son Do a Gratitude Journal. Nothing negative to say. I like gratitude journals. I like journals. I like telling my clients to journal. I love journaling. I see nothing wrong with having someone to journal and to share their feelings, to express their feelings. Nothing wrong there. It's his child. He's allowed to do whatever he wants, so I'm not even going to say anything about that. I love journals, so he's actually did pretty. Out of 10 blogs, we got 3. We got 3, that's pretty good. Let's see how many more. Another one I can go through really quickly with you guys was posted on January 12th. That blog was titled, 3 Life-Changing Books You Need to Read Immediately. All I said was no. Legit, guys. Ooh, this is me in real life, guys. It's really how I am. Another post that he was busy January 12th, okay? He posted 3 in January 12th. It was titled 6 Tips to Avoid Burnout and Live a Better Life. It was basically his YouTube video about time management, except he added one more tip to it. You guys already saw my reaction to his last video, which is basically this blog in video form. If you didn't, I'll leave a card up here for you guys to check out. He added just one more tip, and that was don't let people waste your time and tell people no. No real issues. I really think that's a good tip. Learn to tell people no and don't feel bad about it. I don't think that's a bad tip at all. Now, you guys, I just have to throw this in to be petty. He had a blog on the 11th that he ended up deleting, and it was titled, How I Retain All the Information from the Books I Read. Do you know how quick I clicked?
Do you know how quick I clicked?
I clicked so quickly and it said, this blog has been deleted by user. I was mad because I was like, he knew. He knew he would have got dragged. I would have drug him. Oh, he knew. So I just had to throw that in real quick. Call me Patty, it's fine. So before we get into the two main blogs that I wanted to react to, we had another blog posted on January 12th. I told you guys he was busy. This one was titled, Philosophy Helped Pull Me Out of My Depression. I don't really have too much to say about this. He does talk about how philosophy helped him have more abstract thinking, but you guys already know what I think of that. I think he swears to goodness he has abstract thinking, but he really doesn't. But it helped him to look at things a little bit different, question things in life, which went along with cognitive behavior therapy, which is the regular type of therapy he has with his therapist. He says those two together have helped him with his depression because he questions everything. It makes him have kind of this lust of life, this lust of knowledge to understand and try to comprehend the world more. And there, I did a quick look to see how popular this is, and it's kind of popular. There are people out there who are getting more into being philosophical therapists. They use philosophy as a type of therapy, but they also state it can go along with EBT and the other therapies that are more popular in use now. So it's not too crazy that he feels this way. It is becoming more popular. One thing I will give him is he does say that it's not for everyone, which I totally agree. I am big in client-based treatment, so if you feel that is something that does help you to feel better, I see nothing wrong with it, but I also feel there's nothing wrong with regular therapy either. It is all based of what works for you. So I really didn't have too much to say about that. Quick honorable mention, guys. I totally forgot. There was another blog on January 12th about relationships and how you learn from them, their learning lessons. All I took away from it is that he continues to say, my beautiful girlfriend Tristan, which is annoying. But other than that, it was another waste of a time blog. All right, back to the video. Okay, so we went through all of those. See, they weren't too bad. They weren't too bad, all right? This first one I'm going to hit is from January 9th. I just personally always have something to say when it comes up to these topics. The title of this blog was, The Body Positivity Movement Isn't Always About Self-Love, but It Should Be. Now, that is a very misleading title because it made me feel that he would be talking about what I thought he was going to be talking about, which is just being positive about your body no matter what size you are. But no, that is not what he was saying. And I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. When I read this blog, I could understand where he was coming from because I used to think this way. As someone who has lost a good amount of weight and is continuing to try to maintain and lose weight this year, when it comes to body positivity, my thoughts used to be the way that he thinks in this blog. He states, being unhealthy, overweight, isn't body positive, isn't self-love. I used to think that way as well because I felt, how is it self-love if I'm miserable in my body? For people who don't know, I used to weigh 350 pounds. I might throw a picture up for you guys just so you can see the difference from today. And then I was a big girl and I had to have something scare me into wanting to lose weight. And the fact that I turned 30 was another reason why I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to live. I always say that, right? So during that process, this past 2 years, it's almost 3 years now, I used to think that if you lived in a body like that, that's not self-love. That is torture because I was miserable. But I actually have a totally different mindset from that now, and I'll explain to you why in a second. He drives home the fact that being obese is unhealthy. He shares that he used to be smaller in high school. Now he's over 300 pounds and he wants to lose that weight. He understands that being that big to him is not self-love. Being obese isn't self-love. The health issues isn't self-love. Self-love is trying to get healthy and lose weight. And he feels that body positivity is endorsing obesity. It is endorsing people to be unhealthy and is not self-love. He basically states that self-love is losing the weight, not embracing those who are obese and overweight and saying that that's body positivity, that's self-love. Again, I used to think that way, and let me explain to you why I feel that a lot of people don't really understand what the main goal of body positivity is. He tried to touch the point when he said that we're used to seeing, skinny bodies as being desirable. It first started off as everyone, you know, oh, you can be different sizes and still be beautiful. And honestly, that's what body positivity is. When we're talking about body positivity, we're talking about loving your body no matter the size, no matter if you're big, small, in between, if you're trying to lose weight or not. It isn't about just, oh, promoting an obese lifestyle. We're not sitting here saying,
Yes, girl, you're unhealthy, be unhealthy.
no, what we're saying is that is your body, okay? That is your body, not my body. Who am I to tell you what to do with your body? Who am I to tell you to not be happy in your body, to not feel comfortable in your body? And I feel this on a personal level because of the fact that and I've made a video about it way back in the day of saying is weight loss self-hate or self-love. And I honestly felt that a lot of it was self-hate. And I had a couple of comments on that video saying, well, wouldn't weight loss be self-love? Yeah, it could be. It all depends on how we frame it. And if I'm honest with myself, a lot of it was self-hate because I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable being that size because I knew society looked at me a certain type of way. I was judged because of it. I didn't feel comfortable. This is where I can say I caught myself feeling the same way that he does, that, oh, you really love yourself if you're trying to lose weight. No, what I ended up realizing was I needed to love myself at 350 as much as I tried to love myself at 300, as much as I tried to love myself at 275, 205, and whatever other way I may get to. That's what we're talking about when we're saying body positivity and about being self-love. It's not, oh, we're just trying to promote unhealthy living. I'm not going to get into the whole argument of obese being unhealthy or not, because I do believe that for a lot of people, being overweight is unhealthy. I was one of them, but again, there are cases out there where these people aren't afflicted with any type of health issues you would think are associated with people who are overweight. And that is something else that's an issue with this whole thing, is that we automatically are judging people because they are overweight. We want to put health issues on them. I had the health issues. Are there a lot of people who have health issues being overweight? Yes, but there are still people out there who don't. So instead of saying we are sitting here promoting obesity, what it really is we're promoting people to feel comfortable in their own skin no matter the size. It doesn't matter if you're skinny. It doesn't matter if you're fat. It doesn't matter if you're in between. It doesn't matter if you call yourself thick. It doesn't matter if you call yourself slim. It doesn't matter. As long as you feel good, we should be able to allow anyone feel comfortable and happy in their body. I'm not saying everybody tries to lose weight because of they personally don't like themselves or they're not comfortable, whatever it is, because that was a part of it, but it was also because I had health issues. I had high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic. I had nerve tingling. I passed out in the park. That was one of my things. But I also understand that not everybody wants to lose weight. There are people out there who are comfortable in the skin that they're in and see no reason. So who am I to judge them? Because they're happy in their skin, because they're happy in their body. So that's my idea of body positivity. Body positivity is about just accepting the body that you're in, loving yourself for who you are, no matter the size. But this was just a blog that kind of had me in my feelings a little bit because I do have such a connection to it personally. I felt this way. I thought that losing weight meant you love yourself. I thought that trying to attain a healthy weight meant you love yourself. No, what I understand body positivity to mean is it means that you love yourself no matter what size of body you're in, what type of body you're in. You might be disabled, you might be overweight, you might be skinny, you might be thin, you might be considered healthy, you might be considered unhealthy. Loving yourself no matter what body you're in, that's body positivity. That's self-love. You want to lose weight, props to you. And if you don't, props to you too, as long as you're happy. It is about individual happiness in the skin that we are in the bodies that we are in, without having to feel pressure that we need to lose weight or gain weight or whatever the off comments people give each other on bodies that they really don't need to because they're not their own. So let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you think of body positivity. What does it mean to you? Do you guys understand my version of it? Again, I'm not hating on him too much because I felt the same type of way. Now we have the last blog. Save the best for last, okay, you guys? Save the best for last. And this is his most recent blog. He just posted this blog yesterday, which is January 13th. and it is titled 3 Reasons Why You Refuse to Get Better. I already knew with a title like this I was going to have some issues, and when I read this blog, it was my first blog, and it got me hyped. I sent out a tweet letting you guys know on Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter, JourneyToBAACKK. You see those tweets.
Letting you guys know that this was going to be great, because this was the first blog I read and I was livid. I was going off. My partner was sitting next to me. He was kind of like,
Okay.
and then I explained it to him and he was just like, so let me tell you what happened, you guys. So he starts the blog off by stating that his childhood and the way he was brought up is the reason he always believed was the reason why he was the way he was, and was what kept him wallowing in self-pity because he couldn't change it. It was the reason why he was an addict. It was the reason why he behaved the way he did, and that stopped him for so long from getting better, from, you know, becoming sober and all of that. It does kind of frame him doing this and talking about his childhood and the things that he experienced in his childhood as wallowing in self-pity. And I had a problem with that because we know the way you're raised, your childhood traumas that you may have does impact you as an adult. It impacts your mental health, even maybe fuel addiction later on in life. So I feel like that's not something to kind of just be like, oh, I was wallowing in self-pity about. When it comes to childhood trauma, things that you've experienced in childhood, we need to acknowledge that. That is something that needs to be addressed. It should be worked on with your therapist. That is something that comes up in your treatment. Those are valid concerns. That is something that is valid for someone to address and talk about. I just didn't like how that was framed. It kind of made it come across that childhood trauma doesn't matter. The way you're brought up doesn't matter, because ultimately you can still get better, which is the case. But a lot of times we need to address what's going on in childhood because it affects us, because it can affect us as we get later on in life as adults, and before you know it, it's something that happened in your childhood that you're talking to your therapist about. So I really didn't like how he kind of framed that. So he then states he had a superiority complex, and this is where I got annoyed. This is where I was like, okay, now you are really showing that you don't understand what you're talking about, because your sources that you're even quoting
Are wrong.
And he stated that he has this superiority complex, and he references a famous psychologist by the name of Alfred Adler for his views on the superiority complex. And he stated that Adler believed that people stayed in misery complacent because it was a way for them to stay superior. Right? He then uses the example of babies and how they are weak and that they depend on people, and because they do this, they have the power over their parents to get whatever they want. Can you guys tell that I'm annoyed? Because that is a bold-faced lie. This man lied. He did not do research. He doesn't know what he's talking about, because that's not the belief of Adler
At all.
So I want to understand where he said this is his thing. I'm going to put up right now for you guys what Adler actually believes, okay? I'm going to put that on the screen for you guys. Adler called his theory striving for superiority. Now, this is where I know Chris didn't read anything unless he was listening to an audiobook, and I'm not trying to be ableist, you guys, but this is just kind of proving the point that he's not paying attention to either what he's reading or what he's listening. Because Adler believed that humans were always striving to become superior. He believed that people strive to be superior than other people because we were children. It starts from when we are babies, and we feel inferior because we have to have other people serving us, helping us. We feel weak. And he stated that some people, instead of succumbing to that feeling of inferiority and, becoming sad and becoming more docile or maybe less assertive, he stated that humans actually moved from a place of fear of being inferior. Now, he did believe that some people stayed in their feeling of being inferior. He felt that we were all born with a sense of inferiority, as children are, because we're smaller physically, intellectually than adults. Say people are always calling you dumb, you're stupid, horrible words that they may say to you that again can make you feel inferior to others. He believed that most children would then take that as a way of trying to prove they are superior by striving to be better, wanting to be better, to get better. Editing K here, guys. I also wanted to make sure I explained that Adler believed that the few people who did not try to strive for superiority to, beat the inferiority that they feared, they did end up with an inferiority complex,
to where they believed that they would never be good enough, never do better, or anything like that. So they did have an inferior complex, but he believed that most people would strive to try to become superior based off this innate feeling we always have of being inferior.
They're not trying to use it as a way to control people. They're not using their misery for people to tend to their needs. What they do is they take that feeling of being less than others, of not wanting to be less than others, and they turn it around into, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better than you. They're competitive, and he goes even further and he explains like he has 4 different personality types, which plays into his beliefs of us being afraid of being inferior. This man literally sat here and referenced a psychologist that didn't believe in what he just said he believed. What are you talking about? Do you understand how problematic that is? You sat here, you used a psychologist that you swear to, you think no one's going to look into, you think that people wouldn't understand. And in all honesty, this is somebody that you're taught in psychology 101. You use this as someone to help push your narrative, but it doesn't even push the narrative that you're trying to push in this blog. Like, what are you doing? Are you flipping kidding me? You didn't think that someone would catch on to this though. That's what it is. You got so excited. You pushed out 10 or more blogs. You are sitting here trying to have them curate you more. You were complaining about the fact that they're not curating your blogs. So you're just pushing out anything because this is ridiculous. This is not what Adler believed. He believed that people were trying to be superior, that people were trying to fight that feeling of being less than, of being inferior to their peers. Some strived to be better. It's always individual. Some people, he said, would wallow in their inferiority and continue to feel and be depressed or be sad. He felt that those people were the ones who were dealing with mental health stuff because they allowed themselves to succumb to that feeling of being inferior. It wasn't about power. It wasn't about being superior. If you were striving to be superior, you were going above and beyond to get better. You weren't sitting depressed and sad and having mental health concerns or dealing with addiction. To him, you doing that meant you were falling into the fact that you felt you were inferior. That wasn't nothing about control. That's not what he said about babies. Are you flipping kidding me?
What?
Trash! You did so good in your other blogs too, but you couldn't continue it, could you? You couldn't look into this? You couldn't make sure you were quoting correctly when you did this? That was just that one point. He stated that he was afraid of change. That was another reason why he refused to change. And I definitely understand that. That's something I stated with my clients. That's something I say about myself. I hate change. Change freaks me out. I think I told you guys before, I almost had a full-on panic attack when I found out my job changed our health insurance. I don't like change. I really did have a panic attack at my substance abuse treatment center when they moved the room around and changed the office from one side of the treatment center to the other. It bothered me. I don't like it. Change is uncomfortable, but it is something that I've learned to embrace and go along with and understand. Change is uncomfortable, but for me to continue moving forward in whatever I try to do, I have to be able to kind of move with the flow. Like I said in the previous video, I have anxiety, and my biggest thing is worry about things that I can't control. So change is something, when things change and I can't control that change, I don't like it. So I can understand how that's a big issue for some people. That was a good point in his blog. Stated that he didn't want to put the work in, and then he did it again. And so we ended up back again talking about medications, and he linked his placebo effect blog, which you guys already saw me react to before, where he basically continued his whole campaign against psych medications and how we try to lean on them too hard. Why is he always trying to push this whole anti-psychiatric medication thing? I don't get it. If you take your meds, call it a day. Because you say you take meds, you say you understand the importance of it, so why does it feel like you're always trying to negate that fact?
People understand it's not the magic pill.
Because you know how many people say that? How many people are very vocal about that? There's so many people on YouTube who are vocal about their medications and the changes they've had to take and things like that.
Even you've done horrible videos about that type of thing.
I think we're in that day of age where people are understanding that that's the case. It's not a magic cure-all for everything. I think people get the point that you need to put the work in and take the meds if you're taking meds as well, if that's the route that you choose to take in your treatment. Every time you make this type of a statement, you are essentially hurting the people you say that you care about. Say that you're on here to advocate and educate about mental health and substance abuse and treatment, then you need to stop sitting here and trying to push this narrative. People understand that that's not the case, and we understand it's a tool, and we have to put the work in. I don't need you to continue to keep pushing this in your damn blog. Like, literally, what is your problem? This is why, you guys, this was the worst blog out of all of them. This man sat here and quoted a famous historical psychiatrist, and he referenced him completely wrong to push his narrative, which was still a crappy narrative. Who's sitting here taking a psychologist and twisting his whole entire philosophy and what he believed is wrong? That is ridiculous. Like, are you flipping kidding me? I can't. This was the trashiest blog, because this was a blatant example of you using information incorrectly to push your narratives. And that is trash. That is not okay. Oh, it bothered me so much when this was my first blog. So can you imagine the massive headache I had after reading these? Can you understand? 10. And I think I still had like 3 of them I missed, I think. And honestly, this blog just shows that he's pumping out whatever he can because he wants to be curated by Medium. He's happy that he's getting love on Media. This was just, wow. I'm honestly hoping, I think he might not be writing that book anymore, you guys. And if he's not, I am so happy. I am so excited if that's the case, because I don't think I saw that pinned tweet about the book thread or anything like that. So that's one thing I could say is a win. But this blog made me so mad, you guys. That's it. That's all 10 blogs. The last 2 were the meat and potatoes. The other ones, I kind of ran through them with you guys. I want to hear from you guys. Let me know, how'd you like this video? What do you guys think of all these blogs? I know it was a lot. Yes, it was 10. I want to hear from you guys. Don't be afraid to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far and you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so that way you're notified every time I post a video. Again, thanks you guys for 300 subscribers. I can't say how much I appreciate y'all. I thank you guys for watching this video. Don't be afraid to hit me up on Twitter at JourneyToFindK, Instagram at JourneyToFindK. I'm going to be posting there more. I will catch you guys in my next video. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.